Welcome to We the MICians. Today, I have the privilege of speaking with a stalwart of Indian journalism, Padma Bhushan awardee, Mr. Shekhar Gupta. Thank you so much for joining us at Manipal Institute of Communication. We are really delighted to have you here in person with us today.
I'm delighted or I'm honored.
So, to start with, you've had a very long and illustrious career in journalism. Can you mention or talk about one most defining moment or story that you have covered?
I think to define a story is tough, but to say that one story as in one headline, but one ongoing story that was covering the Northeast between 1981 to 83. Everybody in any profession has to pay their dues doing something. So I think I paid my dues covering the Northeast. And in fact, as so happens, that's also when I first met Mr. M.V. Kamath, because he had a great interest in the Assam issue. He had a view on it, and he was a frequent visitor to Assam. And when he would come there, he will seek out the journalists who were active there. So that's when I first met him also.
How do you see the role of journalism evolving in this current age with all the AI and everything data?
Well, AI is not such a challenge, I would say, because people can figure out what is AI until AI becomes so good that people can't tell the difference. So AI is at this point less of a challenge. What is challenging right now is that the idea of citizen journalism has been redefined. So I have always said that I don't believe in citizen journalism, because I think journalism is a specialized profession that has to be taught. That's why you have MIC, that's why we have the Print School of Journalism. And people say, no, but anybody with a camera can be a journalist. So I said, in that case, anybody can be a doctor. So when you start going to citizen doctors and when you start employing citizen lawyers in a bad case in court, then I will start saying that citizen journalists are okay. That said, now you have the rise of a new kind of citizen journalist that is usually called the podcaster. And if you see a recent article in Financial Times, they list what they call as podcaster bros who brought Trump to power. So that is a new thing, because they take away a lot of the audience, and they are on one side. They don't see themselves fettered by our kind. I'm not saying fettered by any lack of freedom. I'm saying fettered by facts, right? So we will look at facts on both sides, and sometimes the story that a larger audience wants to hear is not borne out by facts. But this new lot, they can do it like a movie, like a Hollywood movie or a Bollywood movie, to tailor it to audience taste. So that is the latest that old-fashioned journalism has to deal with, which is also called legacy journalism and is attacked as such.
That brings me to the question of credibility in news.
Yes, that is the most important thing, because the question is, see, I use this example often, that I ask people, I could have asked in your audience that how many you know the name of Mark Tully. I think a lot of, even the young students would have put up their hands and said, yes, we know of Mark Tully. Then I asked them, can you tell me the name of any BBC bureau chief after Mark Tully? It's been more than 30 years. Nobody can. Why? BBC has been sending good people as their bureau chiefs. That's because once free TV came in India, private TV came in India, there was no need for Mark Tully, because you could get all the news from sources you trusted. Otherwise, my mother did not believe that Dhaka had fallen in 1971 until she heard from the BBC. Rajiv Gandhi did not believe that his mother had been assassinated until he heard from the BBC. Now that is not needed. So that comes from credibility. But if an impression grows that more and more media is not telling the truth, then those who tell the truth, they will get premium. It is right now going through a churn, but ultimately that is how it will settle.
Yeah, and the rise of podcasters, podcaster bros, or the citizen journalism, all this is going to directly impact the credibility of the source.
Yes, absolutely, because you will find that even these podcaster bros are mostly attacking the mainstream media. or what they call as the legacy media, because they call them embedded, they call them compromised, and also very often the side that they are supporting is winning elections. So they are on the winning side. Now, it is not the success of journalism or success of journalists is not to be assessed by whether the side that they are supposedly supporting is a bad word, or the side that they are questioning is winning. So if you look at the Western media, they've been questioning the right. They've been questioning Trump, some of the others also, but those guys are winning. So then to use that, it's not a it's not a straight equation that because Trump has won, that means legacy media or the mainstream media is all crap. That is not fair, because the other side can win. Because what is the other side? The other side is where you are raising questions.
True, sir. Agree. Moving a little towards your opinion about Indian politics. How has Indian politics changed in the last few decades since you have been actively reporting, particularly with the advent of social media and all these partisan, hyper partisan or whatever?
Well, hyper partisanship and social media are phenomena that we've had with us for about 15 years. Uh, and that has democratized information. It has also challenged journalists. It's also given power to a lot of people to tell their own story. So politicians, film stars, cricket stars, and now the new phenomenon of influencers. So they can all build their audiences. But similarly, journalists can also build their audiences and tell their story. And then it's a question of who will be trusted more. But trust also depends on what you want to believe. So many people would want to believe something, and they'll go with the source that plays to that emotion. So that is a big change, and I think politicians now have to learn to understand how the media is changing. When Mr. Modi came to power in 2014, he had understood very well how much Twitter mattered, how much Facebook mattered. The Congress party was way behind. By the time the Congress learnt it, Mr. Modi and BJP realized that the scene had now shifted to WhatsApp, to make WhatsApp groups, right? Now AI, I think. So politicians now have to keep track, keep abreast of technology changes and how that is changing the way you communicate. See Trump this time. He's used podcasts, but he's also used many other methods. And the fact that Elon Musk acquired Twitter, and through that algorithms could do many interesting things. All of that has helped Trump as well. So technology now, changing technologies are very much part uh, of the political warfare.
Something about your personal journey. I have a lot of questions, but what inspired you to start the print, and why do you call it the print?
Well, the print is just for a lark, in the sense that the idea was that it should have the speed of digital, but should not lower the bar. Because if you lower the bar, because people generally had the impression that on digital anything gets published. So the idea was to keep the bar high, the same as that of a daily newspaper. In which medium we publish is a matter of choice. Right now it's digital, it's video, it's digital print. Tomorrow it can be print as well, who knows. So this is just a name. The New York Times publishes on digital, right? Or something, or the Indian Express publishes on digital as well as print. So a name is a name. But that is the idea, was to say that we follow the speed of digital, but the accuracy and the diligence of print.
Taking it a little deeper, there are a lot of people who started news websites, news portals, but they didn't find the right formula for sustaining it. Any advice on that?
I don't know. I mean, if anybody has any advice, I'm happy to take it, because I think we are also searching for a formula. Because advertising that comes through Google brings you very little value, and right now users don't want to pay in India. They pay some, good people pay, but we just need about 5 times more of them. Then we are okay. But it will take time. So until then, we have to find wherewithal to carry on. But I think in the course of time, this is going to change.
With regard to journalism and media education in our country, how do you think journalism education, schools like us, can adapt to the fast changing pace of all this technology that is invading this?
Well, I think you have very smart faculties and you are changing very fast. I mean, if I look at your studio, the technology you have, it's better than what many digital publishing organizations will have, certainly better than what we have. So, so I think you are keeping up with it. The other advantage you have is that you have an never ending supply. In fact, an always a conveyor belt of young students. So, who all come already trained with new technologies, because this is the second generation of digital natives now, and they will all learn more. Now, I see notice today that Meta, uh, Instagram, etc., have released new AI tools. So your young people will know, and they will keep you on your toes, and then they will come and work in our newsrooms, and they will keep us on our toes.
But do you think there is a need for balancing the core journalism ethics in this current?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there is always a need for that, and that's the reason I say I don't like it when you say citizen journalists, because what code of ethics are they bound by, and what is there to say that everything they say will not come from what they believe in or what their voting preferences are. I know that there is a lot of attack on mainstream media, that they are also governed by their voting preferences, which may be true, maybe in opinion areas, right? But not so much with good publications, not in news areas.
So, it's like you met some of our students earlier. There were some who were really interested in core journalism, but there's a lot of interest in other fields like marketing, like social media. Um, do you think this whole field of journalism? I mean, how do we promote this idea of students to get into hardcore journalism in this era of automation or algorithm for this?
I think, look, I mean, you have a large cohort of students. So all these areas are integral to journalism: marketing, uh, brand management, sales, sales as in for the media, uh, social media. These are all very important areas for the media. So I think it's a good thing that you are producing people who are interested in all these areas. So should more be interested in journalism? That's a good thing if they would be. But I think if others can do well with marketing, sales, social media, brand promotion, they can create jobs for more journalists, because it's great to have journalists and journalism, but something has to pay for them, and that something will be done by good marketing and sales and brand positioning people. That's the reason I asked you also when your students were talking about internships, that if anybody wants to work in marketing, PR, and social media, will be very interested.
All right. So you're saying that it all goes hand in hand, and it's okay to have a smaller number of students who are interested in code.
But you still need a critical mass of students. But now it's not as if in a class of 50 only 2 want to be journalists. No, not like that. But there should be a fair distribution.
Looking back at your career, what has been the greatest learning as a journalist?
The greatest learning is that you have to stay curious. That's what we look for also when we hire people. That your education, your contacts, your command over the language, even your GK, all of that we can figure out. Your writing style we can figure out, as long as you have curiosity. But if you are not curious, if you think that you know everything there is to know, then you can't be a good journalist. In fact, you can't be a journalist at all. So that is the important thing, and that's why every day you have to wake up thinking, or when you say things around you, or when you read stuff that's coming out, I didn't know this.
Okay. I have a quick rapid fire set of questions, very few though. One word to describe Indian politics today.
Contested.
A book every journalist should read.
Benjamin Bradley, A Good Life.
What's your go to source for global news?
Financial Times, and and the New York Times.
Do you yourself use your X? I mean, earlier it was easy to say, do you tweet? But now it's a little complicated than a change of name. So, do you
Yes,
post X on X yourself?
absolutely. No one else has access to my Twitter account. I still say Twitter. Instagram, I haven't learned to use. So somebody else had access to it, and she was using tweeting on it. But then she left, and since then my Instagram account has been inactive. But I intend now to bring it back to life. My on Facebook, I have a public account which I don't operate. One of my colleagues operates, but Twitter is my space.
It's a lot of posts per day, sir. I mean, I can see that
Well,
you are engrossed.
but I have to do it myself.
Nice, very nice. Is there a mantra or a philosophy? The final question there. A mantra or a philosophy that has guided you throughout your journey in journalism?
The first I said is to stay curious. Second, must have a thick skin. And third, as you grow into the profession, you realize that if you want to be a good leader or a successful leader, or at least a leader, good, successful, I don't want to load it. Nobody can be a leader without having a large heart. So I believe in what the Americans say, that the only legacy you really leave behind are people. So it's people who work with you, how well they've done in life, in their professions. That is what you can see with satisfaction. Oh, all these people, they worked with us and they've risen in life.
Wow, nice. That's so humane. I mean, very rare to see equality, sir.
Thank you, but that's very selfish also.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shekhar Gupta. We are at the end of this small interaction with the Shekhar Gupta at Manipal Institute of Communication Studios. Thank you so much.
Thank you.